Welcome to Casual Wednesdays. This is a show for Fish Tuxedo where we talk about games and news and other junk. And this is the show for September 10th. I'm Jonathan Downin. You're Mike Feyrer.
Yes, I am. My name is Mike Feyrer, and your name is John Downin.
It is. And since it's been 2 weeks, we've played some games. For this video game show, we're going to talk about games.
There are a lot of them.
It's weird.
So, I guess I'll start. I'll get right into it. Football season started, and I've been playing a lot of Madden. I don't know if you know this about me, Jonathan, of the Fish Tuxedo.
Yeah.
I am a very big Eagles fan.
Okay.
And, do you watch football?
I don't.
Oh, Jesus, man. I was the most angry man alive for the first half of that Eagles game. Yeah. And then at the end, they killed him. So that was great.
I mean, isn't that what sports is really all about? Getting angry and then not being angry?
It's
suddenly?
all about... That is a really, really apt description of what sports is about.
Yeah.
It's you get super angry, you get really high on emotions, and then you get happy because eventually they pulled it out. Yeah. They pulled it off. Pulling it out is something different.
That's a different thing.
That's a different kind of sport. But so the Eagles won, and then to make things better, the Cowboys lost and the Giants lost. I know that probably means nothing to you, but that means it was like the best week of football ever. It was the best week that started off the worst.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. 17 unanswered points in the first half, and then came up for the win in the second. Anyway, so yeah,
awesome
that's
sports.
my football story.
But do they have any tiny football players in actual NFL?
Unfortunately, no, they don't. That is an exclusive feature to Madden 15. Madden NFL 15 by EA Sports. I guess just jumping right into that, actually, I didn't look into this. I was listening to a podcast and they mentioned it, but I guess EA responded to that bug, and then they even added it as a challenge. Yeah.
What's that?
And they added a challenge in the game that actually used that bug in it, which is great. Awesome. They fixed the bug and then put a little fun thing in there.
Yeah,
it just shows for as dumb and annoying as EA can be and has been in the past, and we'll talk about that later. But these little things like this, that's cool. That's cool. It shows that they're self-aware and then they're owning it.
Yeah, I'm all for huge conglomerate corporations being able to play up a little bit of wackiness from time to time.
Oh, yeah, especially because they just feel so faceless most of the time. But Madden is good. Madden is a good game. It is one of the best football games that you can buy on a PS4.
I mean, and that's good to hear because recently NHL 15 came out and people are upset about that game. Apparently, it's missing a bunch of modes and stuff. I mean, I don't know about sports games, really, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, as for sports games, when there's a new generation, the big overhaul is the graphics. You know, they beef it up. It looks a lot better, and Madden 15 certainly looks better. But they usually take out a bunch of modes because they're like, we've been working so hard on getting the grass to look good that we couldn't put in franchise mode. You know, something dumb like that. Luckily, as it turns out, Madden is in the past year or so, has become largely immune to this. I think last year there were some things omitted, but this year it's perfectly fine.
This is their second year on current gen, right?
Yeah, but because of the way they have all these microtransaction-y garbage, they can't. They refuse to not include that stuff in their games now. Because they could make extra money. So all the modes are there, and which is not the case in NHL 15. There are microtransactions in NHL 15, but the game is apparently not that good. So,
also on the EA Sports tip real quick, NBA Live got delayed 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
Apparently
I didn't know that.
Surprise, surprise. Apparently that one's not coming together well.
Surprise, surprise. Apparently they're still making NBA Live.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm in it just to see GIFs of weird things happening in that game. I don't even know why they bother with those 2K games. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. With those, but with those 2K games being so good, those games look incredible. Yeah. The NBA 2K, and I'm not a basketball game fan, but those games look ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
crazy. Anyway, Madden's good. Moving right along, I played The Sims 4. It's a Sims game. Have you ever played The Sims?
I have. I played a bunch of 2, and I played quite a bit of 3, too.
Yeah.
Like, I really like The Sims a lot. But looking at 4, it just doesn't look like it's offering quite enough for me to jump in right now. Like, the omission, as small and kind of dumb as it is, like, if they're not putting pools in there, what else is going on that, I don't know, man. Like, I'm okay not playing another Sims for a bit.
That's my thing, right, is that pools, like, that's the one that actually bothers me, is that I think in the original Sims, in Sims 1, you went from baby to child. You know what I mean? And then they were an adult.
Yeah.
But there were pools. So, I mean, the omission of toddlers and whatever, I don't care. Nobody likes to deal with that in The Sims anyway.
Right.
But the pools, really? Like, that's even if it doesn't really add that much, it's just like, that's something that you kind of expect. It's like, when you go in character customization and there's no option to select a swimsuit, you know.
And if I'm going to build my dream home, I better damn well be able to build a pool.
I agree. Or at the very least, a hot tub.
Yeah.
There's no hot tubs because there's no pools.
So just no water-related stuff outside of showers and bathtubs, I guess.
Exactly. It is a little ridiculous, and that definitely bothers me. Aside from that, if this were The Sims 1, this would be a pretty cool game. But it's not. It is the 4th iteration of this franchise, and it is very refined in a lot of parts. It runs better than The Sims 3 on my machine, which kind of baffles the mind. But it also is an open world.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to, like, when you go to other plots, you physically load them in. So,
bummer.
And it's like, it's not like, it's like more like The Sims 2, where your job does not actually have a building that exists in the world. Your dude just walks off the plot and he goes to work. There's no cars, they don't drive anywhere, they just call a cab. The phones are really integrated into the game. Like, if you're not talking to anybody, you can just chat with them on the cell phone, stuff like that.
Right.
A lot of stuff like that. It is a modern version of The Sims 2 and 3 that should have cost $40.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah. Like, some of the stuff I've seen looks cool, like the built-in sort of like marketplace stuff, which doesn't mean you're necessarily buying stuff, but like you can download user-created content, UGC, maybe you've heard of it. So there's like stuff popping up like Seinfeld and like Friends, like apartments and all the characters and stuff. That stuff's cool. It's nice to see that stuff integrated really well. But
yeah, and the game looks nice. I kind of ragged on it before for not looking so great. But I think that these decisions are made so that this game can run on anybody's computer. And seeing as though I don't have the greatest computer, I run the game at almost, at high settings or whatever, and it runs at 60 frames per second. Almost nothing runs on my computer at 60 frames per second. So that's at least something that they can hang their hats on. Yeah, The Sims 4. It'll run at 60 frames per second on your grandma's computer. Put that one on the box, EA.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the quotes they had for the SimCity game. But, I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't going to buy this game. And then it was like one day I was sitting here and I was like, oh, Destiny comes out later this week. And I don't feel like playing any more Madden because I've played a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I have $130 of store credit for GameStop.
Right. That GameStop credit. Burning holes in pockets.
And I was like, well, fuck it. Because I was so curious and... I was probably going to buy it anyway, so I was like, whatever, we'll see. I put 20 hours into it.
Oh, okay, so you like it.
Yeah, since Friday I've that's the thing is, even a bad Sims game is still a Sims game. It still gets you those, it still gives those Sims, like those, I don't know, it gets it going for me, and I don't know why. Yeah. It's like Minecraft, even when I'm not having a great time, I can still play it for an hour or
There's stuff
10 hours.
To do in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm kind of like that too.
It's that exact type of game. It's comfort food.
How does that work these days? I haven't bought a PC game in a store in I don't know how long. What comes in the box? Do you install from a disc?
Yeah, actually, I didn't buy it in the store. I went to GameStop.com, signed into my account because I am a
Gold Premium Uber Super Duper subscriber.
Basically,
cool
I'm a
guy.
GameStop Power Up Rewards Pro member.
That's not even that far off from what I said.
No, it absolutely is not. No.
It's like 5 words.
Yeah, I went online and I bought a digital code with my in-store credit.
Okay.
So, and then I just plugged it right into Origin. I'm fairly certain that if you were to go buy the game in the store, it would just be one DVD, and then you would put it in, and it would say, "Hey, you got a game. Now give me the code." And then there it is.
Right.
I haven't played around with the online stuff that you were I can't talk. That you were talking about, like the UGC. But I've heard from some other people that it's easy to work with. It's like a Steam workshop right inside the game, which isn't the greatest user interface, but it gets the job done.
Sure.
But anyway, The Sims 4, you know what? It's not good. It's not bad. It is okay.
It is The Sims.
Hit that one on the box.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what you been playing?
So, they say not to start the show with a showstopper, but
here we go.
I just can't help it. I beat Vice City
on
iOS. I did it, man.
Oh, man. That's not where I thought we were going with that one. But, all right.
No, Destiny's not the showstopper. So I started San Andreas, and I'm probably a third of the way. I'm like in San Feyrer and San Andreas. Like, I'm just jamming through that thing. It is unbelievable how much better of a game San Andreas is. And weirdly enough, of that trilogy, I really loved the first two and really didn't play the third one that much back in the day. But going just straight game to game to game, there's a jump from 3 to Vice City, just gameplay mechanics wise and sort of the stuff you can do. You can buy some properties and stuff. But the jump from Vice City to San Andreas is mind blowing. Like the mechanics, there's like lock-on shooting. Like there's just many more properties, so much more to do, so many varied types of missions, and like the polish on that game, like loading screens, like just interface graphics, like it's just a different level going on in that game that I never noticed until now.
That's interesting. I should check it out because really I'm in the same camp as you, where I'm just Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City, where my jam. San Andreas, I mean, it seems like it's in a setting and is like the environment is something that would seem like I would enjoy more because I was never even a part of that culture for Vice City and all that. But that kind of like gangster rap and all that stuff I thought I would get into. I just didn't enjoy that game as much. Maybe I should give it another try.
Yeah, man, it was really surprising to me because I didn't get into it either, but it's grabbing me in a big bad way this time. Also, I was digging through some old boxes, just unpacking stuff, and I found this thing. I don't know if you can see this well, but this is a suction cup inductive thing that you stick on your iPad, and then it's like a thumbstick.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's like a constricting thing, so it's kind of like, it's not a controller, but it's like a thing.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I picked this up, and I was playing Galaxy on Fire 2, which, amazing game. But I forgot I had this, found it, and I was like, wait a second, I should totally be using this. And I stuck it on there. Game changer, man.
Wow.
Like, controlling that left thumbstick, virtual thumbstick with that thing is like way, way better than just your straight thumb on there. I mean, it's still not ideal, but like it feels like you're moving a thing again. And pretty amazing. This is called the Fling from 10-1 Designs. I think it was outrageously expensive at the time I bought it. Like for being a piece of plastic and suction cups, I think it was like $35
Holy
or
shit.
something.
Wow.
I don't know if they even still sell it. They must. It must be available. But if you're playing a lot of like thumbstick dependent stuff on iPad, I hugely recommend it. It's great. It's awesome.
Well,
but at that point, also,
I remember always
you could
seeing
also
those things.
just buy a controller at that point.
Yeah. Well, I remember always seeing those things, and I thought they were really goofy looking. Like,
it's a weird thing.
You put little nipples on your iPhone and go to town.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to take off and put on just the suction cups. So, like, when I sit down to play some San Andreas, I'm putting 45 minutes to an hour in, probably. So, like, I'm not just whipping it off there and on, like, every 10 minutes or something. Yeah. So, but anyway, super great, super fun, enjoying that. Surprise, surprise. Also, been playing Destiny.
Well, anyway, so on to the news. No. So, anyway, how's Destiny? Let's hear about it.
Yeah, Destiny is Destiny. I talked about it during the beta. I'm level 4 now in the full release. I fired it up as soon as that countdown clock ticked over and it launched on PS4. Jumped in right away. No connection issues. Was straight in. No problem. All good. Smooth sailing, which is amazing for a launch of that size. I mean, it was 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. For a fully multiplayer game, that's pretty... I mean, that's pretty great.
Yeah. I mean, considering the stuff like we were talking about it before we started recording here, like SimCity, that whole debacle, which, I mean, like there's probably way more people playing this.
Oh, yeah.
Than that. And it's like active, everyone's online all the time. So it's surprising that they haven't had, anecdotally, no issues for me. I have heard that today there were some issues, but nothing too huge, just sporadic stuff. So that's really impressive. But the game itself, it's still awesome, but it's the same thing that was in the beta. Yeah. If you played the beta, this starts the same. The only thing, I think in the beta I got to level 6, and I'm still only level 4 now in the full release.
So do you think the leveling is slower in the full game?
Feels about the same, man. Like, everything feels the same, except I'm picking up some types of loot and stuff that didn't seem to be available in the beta.
Yeah. You know...
So, I'm... Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The one thing that... because you just mentioned the loot, that... I was a little iffy on Destiny, and I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. But the one thing that really kind of lifted me up a little bit about this game is I had heard that the loot in the full game was way more varied and unique, especially in the later levels. Like in the end game, your guy would look nothing like he did in the beginning, which is super appealing. And I hope that there's a lot of loot, because that full customization kind of thing is that's super cool. I think I mean it's kind of lame that I get into stuff like that, but I really like having a dude that looks different from the other dudes. I
agree, man. And actually, the character customization stuff you probably know because you played some of the beta or alpha or something like that. That stuff's pretty limited. There's 12 or 15 choices for haircuts, and it's like that across the board. There's 10 different faces. It's not like you tweak every little thing and make a really crazy looking dude however you want.
Yeah.
There's just some options that you can choose from. So hopefully the loot is really varied. I mean, it's hard for me to be super excited about it right at this point, but I can already tell I'm going to be playing a ton of this game, and I'm going to be loving it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really fun. It's just I'm still in that same stage that I've already played through at this point. So, but it's awesome. It's great so far.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm definitely going to be picking it up tomorrow. For those of you watching this, we were a little inside baseball. We recorded this on Tuesday, so this game just came out today. And I have a bad temper when it comes to things not working properly the minute I buy them. So I would have bought it today, but I went on NeoGAF, and one guy said, had connection issues. Now it's okay, though. And I was like, nope, I will buy this tomorrow, and I will have no connection issues, and I will be so happy. I will play 8 hours straight, and I will be late to work the next day, and everything's going to be good. So
I mean, I'm sure they can figure all that network stuff out in one day anyway, right? That's all it takes.
Well, I'm hoping that a little bit there's a little bit less server load on the second day when everybody's like, oh, fuck this game, it couldn't load.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
For sure.
I can't wait to play.
Yeah. So that's it for what we've been playing. We have a few news stories here, so let's hit these. We missed last week's show due to just a scheduling conflict, so we missed talking about the new Nintendo 3DS, and I wanted to bring it up this week because I think that's super dumb.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Yeah, so I haven't bought a 3DS yet. I know I'm a crazy person, whatever, and I want to get back into Nintendo, and I don't want to buy a Wii U. So I feel like the way I'm going to get back in is a handheld. If what they would have announced was an actual new handheld, I would be super excited and I would be ready to buy it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
But it's just another Nintendo 3DS, which in theory is okay, but the weird thing they've done with this is they're changing the internals. So they've added a thumbstick on the right-hand side, a weird miniature thumb nub thing.
Yeah, that's a little weird, yeah.
They've added two more trigger buttons, which are weird. So you have one here, and then it's on the left, on the right side, and it's not like this. It's weirdly. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one is with the bottom part of your finger, and then the other one is with the tip of your finger.
Yeah,
it's
weird,
strange.
It's a weird setup. But that's all fine. The weird thing is they've like upgraded the internals a bit so the whole thing runs faster. That's great. But they're also letting developers use that hardware to make games with better graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it was announced that Xenoblade Chronicles, the Wii RPG that was like part of that Project Phoenix or whatever. Anyway, people wanted to play that game. I guess not many people got to play that game because it came late in the life cycle. So they're porting it to the new 3DS, but it will only run on the new one.
Yeah.
So what is Nintendo doing? They're the best at confusing people about what their systems are and what they do. Like, how do you go into a store? How do you expect people to understand how this works?
Yeah.
And new 3DS is a dumb name.
Yeah, and we don't know. First of all, it hasn't been announced for. They're coming for us, but it hasn't been announced for North America yet. So we don't know what it will be called because it's called, the new 3DS and new 3DS LL in Japan. Yeah. I can't imagine it's going to be much different from new. But so I have a couple points to go along with what you said. So to the whole, Xenoblade Chronicles is coming out exclusively for the new 3DS, and because it looks better, it needs a little bit more horsepower. Plus, it probably takes advantage of the extra buttons and the C stick. And I think that this is a power move, first of all, by Nintendo saying we're launching a new console. And along with that is this exclusive to this new console, so the diehard Nintendo fans will buy this. Put more attention on Xenoblade, which they are clearly pushing pretty hard to be a major franchise with Xenoblade Chronicles X or Cross or whatever they're calling it,
right.
For the Wii U. I think that they're really pushing for this, and they're saying here's this console you already like, and you're gonna buy another one, and you're gonna want to get it because this game is coming out for it. Also, the sequel comes out in 6 months. Maybe you want to buy that too. And then along with that, okay, so it only works in the new 3DS. I'm not really down for that. I think that's kind of dumb. But that made me think of because the confusion with the Wii and the Wii U. I think that's largely one of the biggest reasons why the Wii U is not succeeding. Is strictly because people just have no idea what the fuck it is. And then the 3DS to the new 3DS, that's also dumb. But how did people differentiate the Game Boy from the Game Boy Color? Because the Game Boy Color games would not run on a Game Boy.
I don't know. That's a pretty big differentiator, just straight up, though. One's black and white, one's color.
It's true,
straightforward.
But there's a lot of people. I mean, the people who are like, "Oh, isn't that just a controller for a Wii? For the Wii U." There's a lot. Yeah. I would imagine there was probably a lot of people that said, "Isn't that just a color screen? Why do I need the new one?" Or why can't I just put the color one and the black and white one? Or and stuff like that. And it made me think, how did they avoid this crisis? Because that was the moment when I thought about the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color that I realized that Nintendo has no idea what the fuck they're doing when it comes to naming things.
Yeah.
Because if they had any sense, the Game Boy Color is a really bad name for something that is coming out after something that is just called the Game Boy. And then to call something else the Game Boy Advance and stuff like this. The names just stack and stack and stack. And with this, there's a 3DS, there's a 2DS, there's a new 3DS. It's like, what runs what? So,
it's all insanity, man. My bottom line is, if they're going to make a thing that is different hardware that is required to play new games, make an actual new thing and make it backwards compatible. That's what they've done forever. Don't just slightly bump the specs. It's not mind-blowingly better. It's not even we haven't seen exactly how different it's going to be, but from the impressions I've gotten, it's going to be pretty close. It's not going to be a generational leap. It's just a bit better. If you're going to do that, just make the next thing.
I think that they're saving all that for 4 years down the line, or 3 or 4 years down the line when they put out a new console. Because the Wii U just hasn't panned out, but they know if they put out a console too quickly that they're going to piss off the Nintendo faithfuls, which they absolutely will. I'd be pretty pissed. But if they put out another console in another 4 years, because I don't think this generation is going to last as long as the last one did. So after
even the PS4, Xbox One, and everything?
No, I don't think it's going to last as long because it's not as
right.
The bump is not that big. You know, the games look very good, but the bump is already, it's minuscule by comparison. Yeah. And that doesn't mean, I mean, maybe they'll go like an Apple route, where they will just, or they'll go the new 3DS route, where they'll just say, this is a new PlayStation 4. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And that seems to be the way that Nintendo is going with their stuff. It's like, you know, this new Angry Birds game will run on an iPhone 6, but it will not run on an iPhone 3. You know what I mean? Something like that. But I think that in a couple of years, they're going to put out their new handheld, and it's just going to be their console. To be honest, it's going to be...
I would love that.
I think that's going to be great when they put out a dock, and they put out, like, there's like a, you know... basically the same quality graphics as the Wii U, with a regular controller and a dock that hooks up to your TV, and you walk around with it. It's a handheld console, and then when you want to put it down, you just dock it, and there's your home console too. Incredible. Yep. Yeah, I think that's.
I hope that happens.
And I think that they're waiting for that to happen before they release a new one, and that's why I think it would have been a bad idea to put out a 4DS or whatever they would call it.
Right.
Which is probably why they're just, how can we squeeze more life out of this? Try to sell more units, because the Wii U just isn't doing it.
Yeah, they're probably pretty hungry just to sell anything at this point. So, yeah. Also, big news. Apparently, Microsoft is potentially trying to buy Mojang, the developer behind Minecraft, which means Microsoft is trying to buy Minecraft.
Yeah. And this is probably going to take us right out the end. And we didn't get into a lot of news, but these are two topics that I find particularly interesting. Yeah. And let me just read you real quick what Marcus Persson, or otherwise known as Notch, the guy who founded Mojang, made Minecraft. And did you mention, by the way, Microsoft is looking to buy them for $2 billion?
Oh, $2 billion. Right.
$2 billion. That is two Oculuses.
That's one Oculus.
Oh wait, was Oculus 2 billion?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's 2 Twitches.
Right.
A little over 2 Twitches.
Yeah.
So Notch says, he said, Mojang does not exist to make as much money as possible for the owners. As a majority shareholder, I know every time a big money-making deal comes up that would make a lot of money, it's of course very tempting. But at the end of the day, we choose to do what either makes the most sense for our products or the things that sound like fun for us at Mojang, which is a very, very Notch thing to say.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, that dude has so much cash at this point. Like, and he is very opinionated and very staunch in his views on things. He was
very stubborn.
Yeah, he was up in arms about that Oculus Facebook stuff. I think that guy cares about being able to relax with his buddies, kind of working on something that's fun, but not going too crazy hard on it. Those dudes have all the money in the world to build that crazy office that they have there, if you haven't seen pictures of that thing. Yeah. Like, they're in a great situation. I think their situations collectively and individually get worse if they sell that thing off. I think they're in a great position. Like, Minecraft is going to be popular for a long time to come. It's launching on all sorts of platforms. They're just kind of evolving it. They kind of get to work on what they want. He gets to kind of just chill out and kind of hang out on Twitter. And those guys are all... And I think he has... Like, he feels good about being able to employ those dudes and have that group and team. Like, I may be reading a bunch into his personality here, but I don't think the 2 million or the 2 billion is as attractive as just sort of being able to be comfortable doing cool stuff while a whole bunch of money is also rolling in.
And I definitely agree. I think that let's just say Microsoft buys Mojang, Notch does not stick around. I think we can safely say,
of course not.
Notch walks away with $2 billion in his pocket. Yes. And soon to follow is the guy who I think his name is Jens, the guy who's has been patching Minecraft, and then slowly the rest of them trickle away, and then they go in for Mojang 2.
None of those guys want to work for Microsoft. No, for sure.
Yeah, they're all. I mean, those dudes are like as rockstar indie as it gets. For as like quiet as those guys are, and calm in all those videos, and they're all very shy. They are very rockstar indie. Like fuck the man, do our thing. Yep. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of respect for that too, and Notch is that way to the extreme. Like you said, he's very opinionated and stubborn, like every rock star should be. And and he is really at the top of his game, but he also only has one game. So he's already said he's not going to make a Minecraft 2. Let Microsoft do it. I mean, that's his baby, I get it, but he's not going to do anything with it. He's just, I would say if he sold it for $2 billion, he could hire like 10 more people and then make the Minecraft 2 that he wanted to make. He could make 10x to the C or whatever that he wanted to do that he couldn't figure out how to do. He could hire more people and help him do that. I mean, it's not like he couldn't do that with the $300 million he already has, but for $2 billion, it is literally, you can do anything you want. And that dude wants to make games. And he's not going to ever do anything with Minecraft again. He's not interested. And he's got another dude on the team who is, and that's his job. I don't know. Like, while I don't think that it would be cool for him to do it, and I don't think that he wants to do it, and honestly, I don't think he will do it, I think he should do it because he could do... I think that dude is... Like, he's shown us what he can do once, and he hasn't been able to replicate that success. And that game, the Minecraft, has been out for a long time, and he has not been working on Minecraft for a long time. He's starting to look like a one-trick pony now. I think,
and he may be, but if you're going to be a one-trick pony, Minecraft is the way to do it. I don't know. Yeah, I almost would kind of like to see something like this happen because I would kind of like to see Minecraft stuff done with Minecraft. Mm-hmm. Kind of like taken in different directions, whether it's a new game or whatever it might be. That could be interesting. I don't have any faith in Microsoft being able to do something interesting with that. But I'm not totally pumped at hearing Notch is like, I'm never doing anything with this again. Like, that's not exactly what I want to hear either. So,
I mean, to be fair, I think that they've taken the right direction with Minecraft with just saying, you bought it once, this dude's going to update it forever.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And I think that's the best way to go about it. But I kind of agree that I'm a little bummed that he's like, there will never be a Minecraft 2.
Yeah.
It's
I would like to see a completely new take on whatever that would be.
Because I always, or like 10x to the C, I was like, well, that's basically Minecraft 2, right? That is like Minecraft 2 for people who are 30 years older than they were when they bought Minecraft. That's kind of what 10x to the C seemed like to me, and then that got canceled. And like Minecraft and... I mean, he worked on Worm Online. That's where he came from. He worked on that. And you can see it in Minecraft. And Minecraft is just a very basic version of that, but also in some places a much more complex version. And those are the types of games he wants to make, and I want him to make those types of games, but they're expensive. Like one that doesn't look like Minecraft is very expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. But give that dude $2 billion. Let him do what he wants. But I don't want to see Microsoft's grabby dumbass hands on Minecraft. And I will say, I would just love to see somebody turn down a $2 billion offer.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, I would just as much as I would be like, that dude deserves $2 billion. He is. I would give that guy $2 billion if I had $100 billion because I've played a lot of Minecraft. But yeah.
Also, Minecraft is now out on PS4 and Xbox One. Mm-hmm. I will play the PS4 version at some point. I want to see what that's like. I want to play it with a controller. I just want to see how that plays on a couch.
Yeah. I played the Xbox 360 version.
Yeah. Two last pieces of news. Dragon Quest Heroes is coming, announced at TGS. It's another game from those dudes who make Dynasty Warriors.
Awesome.
So we got the Link one. Now we got the Dragon Quest one. We've already covered Gundam. There's like a billion other ones,
One
and now
Piece,
there's a billion more.
I think maybe Naruto, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, man, that's a weird thing that I could probably talk about for a while. But
Japan,
running long here already.
Japan.
Last thing, Samsung Gear VR was announced. I think at IFA, which is a big tech show happening in Europe, and that could be interesting because it's an untethered Oculus Rift, which is interesting.
I think that's where that stuff needs to go.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually it's like, at what point can we not just press the Oculus app on our phones and put it into a headset? I see why it's a partnership with Samsung because that's probably what they needed to do to get this off the ground. But in like 20 years, I don't see why this couldn't just be an app on everybody's smartphone. and they just, you know, put it into their headset. Or like in 10 years.
Yeah.
Why did I say 20? 20 years will be 20 years will be flying in space cars.
Yeah. It just comes down to form factors and like making a thing that can fit all the things and like I mean it's just logistics really.
You know, I'm never going to have a $2,000 PC, but I might have an $800 phone sitting around.
Right.
So,
and good news on that front, they have said that's going to be $199, which is actually kind of a lot if you consider what that thing is. It's just some lenses and some plastic and some stuff.
It's kind of true.
But people have those phones, so $200. I don't know.
It's for the Galaxy Note 4, right?
That sounds right. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. So we'll see more on that. And iPhone 6 is a thing. It was announced today.
iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. Also, Apple Watch.
Yeah, Apple Watch, man.
You could look like a douchebag on your wrist.
I will.
Are you going to get an Apple Watch?
I don't know, man. Like, if I had tons of money sitting around, I would definitely do it.
It's a $350 watch, dude.
I know. Oof. So I'll probably wait for Rev 2 if I can. But I eat that stuff up, man.
Man, I will say, it looks very cool. It's much more appealing to me than the Samsung Gear was. Also, I own an iPhone. I will probably upgrade to an iPhone 6 Plus at some point.
I think I'll go regular size 6, but...
That 5.5 screen, man, that looks nice.
So big, man.
I mentioned this I said this earlier to my friends. I said, now with the Apple Watch and the iPhone 6, nobody has wanted to rob you more. Because now they see, look at this douchebag with his $350 watch. He's probably listening to Beats by Dre, which are also now owned by Apple. Those are $300 headphones. You're wearing a $350 watch. Because you have that watch on, you are guaranteed to have a new iPhone in your pocket because they are required. So now you have an $800 phone in your pocket. You have what is that? What is that right there? That's $1,400 worth of stuff on your body at any given time.
I won't go that far. No Beats by Dre for me.
I don't know, man. You seem like that guy. How are you going to listen to that new rad Drake song? How are you going to listen to Fancy by Iggy Azalea?
I've already listened to it.
You got to listen to it on the go.
Oh, okay.
Beats by Dre.
And that's it. We've run way long already. Casual Wednesdays, we're back. We'll be back next week. Thanks for watching. Please like this video, because this is a YouTube video, and that's what you're supposed to do if you like it.
Yep.
And that's it. We'll see you next week.
See ya.